Hmm? So, hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk with you about the way we can teach students, especially students uh, which are learning on distance or online. So, I will share my presentation. So, one second. And in my presentation, I'm going to show you how we worked with students. The topic was sport, and I will show you how we worked with students talking about this topic. I hope everyone can see my screen, but not from the bottom. Let's go to the top. Let's start with the first idea, which I want to share, how we present information. So you can look at this slide, yes, and I have a question to you. I'm sorry not to talk first, to start with questions first. What do you think can be improved if you look at this slide? Let's imagine that you have a class with your student and you just start a class with showing the slide. What's wrong with that? Or what is not so good for students when they just look at this slide? Let's think together. Don't be shy to speak out. Don't be shy to express your opinions, because it's not a kind of monologue. It's a kind of actually discussion, a conversation together.
Maybe need some pictures.
Visuals, right? Okay, it could be visuals, or yeah, it's a good note. Visuals. What else? And now let me show you. Yeah, please.
Start from the question. Maybe it's too difficult to them to, as a plan.
So in the plan we have questions like why, reasons, and so on. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean that.
Yeah. Let me show you. Let me show you how we can improve that. The idea which came to my mind that when we work with students, it doesn't matter which age we work with. Either we work with students who are at the age of 10, 11, or students at the age of 16 or 17. They are not interested in information which is ready made for them before. And I could say that the most interesting part, when you type this information together with students. Now look at the screen and tell me, please, what do you feel when I'm doing that? I will just type some stuff. I could say that your eyes are together with me. I call it the effect of cooperation, because students, they feel more involved in this presentation when a teacher types information on the screen, and they feel this moment of real cooperation with the teacher, real involvement with the teacher. I could say about myself the same story. I think it's because of messengers. I think it's because of different social media, because students like when something is happening at the real time. That is only my inference. That is only my guess about that. But I tested this on some students, and I could say students like when teacher is typing the information as a real time with them. Because when a teacher opens presentation, when a teacher opens the real information, students start being resistant to that from the beginning, because they don't feel the moment of involvement. They don't see how this information moves on the screen. Again, it's only my inference. The best idea.
I might agree with you. Might agree.
The best idea, because when we show them blank space, for example, let me show you this slide. When we show students blank space, for example, we start the class and we say, hello, everyone. Okay, I'm going to show you the presentation. Look at my screen. And what do you see? You see just blank space. And the first thing which comes to your mind is what? The first thing which comes to your mind, and what is going to be about? Yeah. So because I don't see any information, You start being interested, you start being curious what my teacher is going to talk about. And then you just do what? You start typing the information on the screen. So that is the first idea, how to get this, I don't know how to call it. It could be like a digital rapport, or it could be like a involvement moment, or like waking up their curiosity or something like that. But definitely an idea of getting your students involved is not like a ready-made presentation, especially when you start with this slide. I don't say that you must like make the presentation with your students, but I mean, especially when you start with the slide, like starting slide in your presentation, they like when you type with them and they feel they are working together with you. They feel this moment. So that is the first like inference which I found in teaching online. And I will tell you, we are talking with you about sport, and that is a that's like some parts of the map which is called sport and healthy living or exercising. Um, I want to ask you a question. I don't know, maybe you had such stuff when we work with students and we present the whole, I mean, the whole map on the screen. I found that it makes them a little bit puzzled. I call it the moment of being like overwhelmed with information, especially if you talk about some vocabulary which is B2, C1 level. I mean, like high vocabulary, like this one. And I noticed when I show the whole map, the students, they feel confused. There are two reasons. The first reason is like a lot of information, a lot of words. And the second one, we must remember that many students are working from the telephone. Students who work from the telephone, they see nothing on the map. Let's be honest. They just pretend, they have a connection with us, but at the same time, they have no connection because they really don't understand how to enlarge, or when they enlarge one piece of information, a teacher switches to another piece of information. Okay, and one moment students say, okay, let my teacher talk. So it means what? It means that we can fracture information. What I mean fracture, divide for information into some parts. And before, again, I'm talking about students who are like levels 5, 6, 7, probably even 6, 7 and higher. But this aspect we can do with younger people too. I mean, like it works with younger people too. The only one difference with younger, we can present information visually, yes. But with older kids, I use this Socratic method. What I mean Socratic method, you see, I'm trying my own medicine right now. I'm typing right now. Socratic method. I mean, when we present information not with real answer to this information, when we present information with a question. And again, we are typing this information on the screen. So I understand that I'm going to talk about some reasons about exercising. Let me remind you, we are talking about the map healthy living exercising. I understand that we are going to talk about some characteristics or reasons why people should exercise, what benefits people have when they exercise. And of course, I can ask a question like, why should people, yes, why should people exercise? And I leave this question, I'm sorry, yeah, sometimes it happens. I leave this question on the screen for students to think. I know they are not enthusiastic to answer, and you don't need to wait their answer. If you have enthusiastic students who are ready to say something about that, you can give them time to speak. But even if your students are silent, even if your students don't want to say anything, just you must start with this. I'm sorry, you should start because I'm too authoritarian. Why should people exercise? At least students will have these like switch. So we are going to talk about what? Because when I, for example, okay, I divided my map into some blocks, for example, and I'm happy now students will see every block separately. But again, to start like this, And now we speak about characteristics, resistant, receptive, strong, weak, blah, blah, blah. And for students, it's like, okay, it is absolutely the same map, but only divided. Okay, that is the difference between that. So the best idea is to start with a question. So why should people exercise? And you can say, for students who are shy, I have some groups where students are shy, I give two options. For example, if your students are enthusiastic and they are ready to say and they are ready to talk, you can give them some time to talk. If your students are not very enthusiastic or they don't want to talk because of different circumstances, so we could say, you can type me in Zoom. You can type in the chat, and believe at least 3, 4, 5 students, they will do that. You can even say, I'll give you 1 minute to think and type your answer in the chat and try to discuss this answer with them in the chat. It really helps. And I want to tell you that students do that. They love chatting. I mean, they even can write only one word, but they will be pushed to talk about this block, why people, why students, or why anyone should exercise. And that is like the second aspect which I'm talking about. I'm talking about presenting the map is better with the questions than giving exactly information you have ready for students. And then you can say, yeah, I'm sure some students will type like exercising makes us healthy. That is the first thing which people usually write. Yes, oh, healthy, it's good for brain. Some people say, okay, and we can say, okay, I agree with you completely. You are nice dudes. And now let's take a look how exercising can help you. In this map, which is healthy living, exercising, we have opposites. Yeah. And let's be honest, when we look at these opposites, for students, some words could be hard to understand. Some words could be difficult to understand. We have two moments to do. We have the first moment to start analyzing every single word, like, and now let's analyze the word resistant, receptive, flexible, accurate, I don't know, just like inaccurate. But it will be very, very long, especially if you have the class of presenting information. The idea of presenting this information is not to leave your students knowledgeable about every word. The idea is to present the structure, why people should exercise healthily. And I go another way. I usually ask students not to analyze every word. I just take the first two words, for example, resistant and receptive. We go to Cambridge Dictionary or we go to any dictionary together. I can show this dictionary on my screen. I'm sorry, in this situation, we have the word accurate, but it doesn't matter. You can choose any word. You can make a screenshot. You can copy and paste here. But again, you need to focus only on 2 words, not on 22 on this map. And we build with students their speaking. I explained, so resistant, it means to be strong to viruses. Viruses can't fight you. Again, explanation has to be done in English. If we have struggling students, try to use your language. But if you see that students are ready to get definition in English, it's no problem when students get this definition in English. And of course, we must say that here we have opposites. So what it means, receptive, it means to receive, when my body receives viruses and so on. What is going to be with these words? We don't touch them. These words could go as a part of their homework. At home, they have to find definitions in this dictionary. At home, they have to find some explanations to these words. And next class, you can start with the same question. Why should people exercise healthily? So why should people exercise? Yes, why exercising is good for health. And we built up an answer with them. We built an answer like, if people exercise regularly, yes, they are resistant to viruses. So we just try to build up a sentence together. I learned with them the word otherwise. Again, it's not important to teach students the word otherwise. You can say but. Again, it depends on the level of your group. and on the level of obtaining information, of getting information, how much information they are ready to get. Again, if you have strong students, like enthusiastic, it's good to give some hard words. If they are just struggling, some easy words. Otherwise, if they exercise randomly, they are receptive or inaccurate, and so on and so on. So we focus on what? We focus on analyzing not every word. We are focusing on using the words to build up a sentence. And this logics will be the same for other words too. I can use randomly any word here, and the structure will be the same. I can say, for example, if people exercise regularly, they are, for example, flexible. Otherwise, if they exercise randomly, they are inflexible. So that works the same way. So my idea is that we don't need to analyze every single word, which makes students bored and which takes a lot of time. Because if I start analyzing these words, I could honestly say I will finish my class with these words because it takes so much time. What to do with other words? I give them a homework or home assignment, I could say it this way, to define these words. We choose together the words. You know, probably if you look at these words, you understand which words might be hard for your students to understand, like in comprehension way. So we choose the words together. You give them, again, a kind of involvement. You say, okay, let's choose words which you don't understand or which you don't feel that you understand. Of course, students will tell you about receptive, flexible, stiff, accurate, inaccurate, meticulous, agile. So, and you say, okay, I'll give you a link to a dictionary. It doesn't matter which dictionary. It's not like I'm an official promoter of Cambridge Dictionary, because many people say, you know, like I'm a priest who always says, "Do you believe in God?" So I'm the same with Cambridge Dictionary. You must use Cambridge Dictionary. People say, "Do you love it?" I say, "No, I don't like it so much." I just say you can use any online dictionary, but your task is to find a definition. That is it. It could be Webster or Oxford Dictionary. It doesn't matter which dictionary you use. That will be their homework to find a definition. And we go to the next part. So we go to the next part. We are not worried about, again, analyzing every single word. Again, the second block of this map, for people who remember, for people who don't, it's called exercising and types of exercising. We have 3 types of exercising, and we could speak with students. You see how much information, again, we have here. And I always say that we need only from this part on the first class, we don't need to analyze every single word. We have a lot of hard words here, and we need to focus on some moments which are important for students. And I say, when we describe or when we evaluate any exercise, we always evaluate in this way. We must understand the type. And I use this actually tick, I mean just red tick. So I am always drawing on the screen. So why I do that? Because if I just speak, I say, for example, now look at the screen, you will see types, what they develop, kinds of exercise. I believe after kind of exercise, students will stop looking at the screen. So why? Because a lot of information again, and nothing is happening on the screen, so no moves, and we have something to move. They like when something is moving on the screen. So the best idea is to use drawing on the screen. And we say like what they develop. You can use different ways, not always putting ticks. You can like circle information, yeah, kind of exercise, effect, yeah, so we can draw in different ways. Result, you see, and students will be more focused because they hear you and they see your actions. So what you do with the map or what this exercise prevents. What students must understand from these tables, they need to understand only this part, only this part. And of course, we will take a look with them at different types of exercise. We will take a look with them at aerobic exercise and aerobic or stretching. I can give you an idea how to simplify that. I take with my students some visuals. I can divide my screen into two parts and I show them, for example, we take some visuals and we start analyzing. Firstly, it seems hard, but students can do that. I show them, for example, firstly, this exercise, yeah, that is ready done. I am typing with them while we are talking. So these text you see, I don't give them the whole text because it makes no sense. I'm typing with them. For example, I show them only the picture and I say, we will try to evaluate or describe an exercise. I'll show them the picture. The first question you can ask, of course, so what kind of exercise is it? And definitely they would say like hiking or walking. But it seems to me it's more hiking than walking. But anyway, we can call it walking. Let's call it walking. So walking. And I go to this table and ask a question. So what do you think? What is the type of exercise? So it's aerobic, yeah. So and we say so walking belongs to aerobic exercise. And then I ask them, so what does it develop? As they say, it develop endurance. We can analyze endurance again together with them. So the idea, let's be honest, the idea is to only to work this line with them. I mean, aerobic exercise. So we don't need to analyze anaerobic or stretching or something like that. We only analyze aerobic exercise. And after that, we have a ready plan again together. We have written this plan together. I mean, like we described with them why this exercise develops, so what kind of exercise it belongs to, so what is the effect, what is the result. So they have a ready plan. So why this plan is important? Because at home they will have a task to describe an exercise. Again, here we have a few ways. If you analyze with students only one type, I mean, if you analyze only aerobic exercise, so it makes sense to give them a picture to describe which is related to aerobic exercise, just to practice one more time this speaking about aerobic exercise, because it makes no sense, for example, to give them a picture to analyze, for example, an aerobic exercise if you didn't do that. But again, for students, it's not a big problem. They can do that. The main idea is to understand the plan, how to describe this exercise. After that, I showed the students the picture, visuals. I showed them the picture and I asked them just to identify, so which exercise is it? Can I ask you, so which exercise is it? I mean, not type, I mean name.
I mean, type climbing. The name.
So, yeah, the name of exercise, not type, the name of exercise. Yes, so many people say mountain climbing, yes. So, and are there any more guesses? So we could say that this type is called grappling. So this exercise is called grappling. Believe I also learned this word just like a few months ago. It was a new word for me too. And yeah, grappling. I will just write it here. Just 1 second. Okay. So I will use grappling. By the way, I googled this word. I tried to go a little bit deeper, and in some countries people call it abseiling. They call it abseiling. So grappling. So grappling. Okay. Just sorry, double L. So grappling. Definitely, it's a new word for students, and many people.
Teachers.
And for teachers, yeah. Okay. Many students, they say, okay, let me explain how we work with this picture. I ask them about, so what is the exercise they see in this photo? And they say, again, you have students in Zoom, you can push them, you can encourage them to type. They can type the answer because it's only one word. So you don't need to listen to every student like saying the name of this exercise. And in my group, I will give you an example. In my group, students called this exercise hiking. Some students think that is hiking, and some students think that it's, I'm sorry, I have rappelling, but they call it actually mountain climbing. But we have a small problem. I'm sorry. This is rappelling, and this is mountain climbing. I am really sorry. It's climbing.
Is there a difference between them?
A great question. When you hear different options like hiking, climbing, you can discuss it with students, because I really didn't plan to discuss it. I just took the photos from Google Pictures randomly, and I say, okay, let's discuss what's the difference. And that is a good moment when students ask you the question, and what's the difference? And you say, okay, let's go to rappelling. Ignorance is not the best way, so we can discuss with them what is the difference between rappelling and, firstly, I started with hiking. Okay, we analyze what hiking is, so that's easy. And the main question is the difference between rappelling and climbing. So in mountain climbing, people are grabbing the rock with hands. The main idea is to hold on the rock and not to fall. And in rappelling, the main idea is to move up and down using the rope. So that is the difference between mountain climbing
Because it's rape, because of rape. Веревка, да? Rape, по-моему. Нет.
Like rope, yeah, like rope.
Rope.
Yeah, like rope. Yeah, like rope. And that's a good moment. Firstly, students like this moment of analyzing, especially when you have visuals and when you have the words like, okay, rappelling and climbing, what's the difference? But the main idea that we show these pictures not just for fun, we show these pictures for working. Again, I will show you how we worked with students, because in such option we have in Zoom as breakout room, and many people think in which way I can use this breakout room. We definitely know that everyone uses breakout rooms, but these breakout rooms, they don't help, because sometimes students just talk about any stuff except what you ask them to do. And I use this visual for breakout room. How I work with that, I firstly, we identify that is rappelling. We have a plan for describing this exercise, so we understand how we can describe. We use the type for this exercise develops. So any examples of any similar kinds of exercise. And after that, I'll make a screenshot. My students are in Viber groups as well as yours. I mean that you just make a screenshot, and when you divide students in breakout rooms, you can quickly or instantly attach this photo, this photo, on their Viber or Telegram, because now some people have Telegram groups, and you give them 2-3 minutes together in groups to discuss, to describe this exercise. So to describe this exercise, and again, I make a screenshot of this speaking, because some students, you understand, some students are writing with you, some students don't, and you never know. So that is why it will help them to see it in their Viber group. So I give them the plan to describe. I give them the idea of this exercise, and they work together in breakout room describing this exercise. Describing this sport exercise. And probably how I call this moment is that is a moment of working together, because we have like pair work in classes, and we really need this pair work in Zoom. And the best way is when we give them some simple information, and of course they discuss like the algorithms they discussed before. So when we don't ask them to do something new or totally new, because in these groups they will not discuss it at all. I can join to the groups. If you want to check your students, you can join to the group. You know this option, we have an option like to join. And for example, when I am joining, I can ask in one group, for example, I can ask, okay, so which type is rappelling? And they say, okay, this type. In another group, I can ask, so what rappelling develops? And they say rappelling develops so something. In the third group, if you have more students, In the third group, you can ask, for example, what is the result of grappling on your body, on human body? And students just say many interesting facts, and they feel this moment of control. Why we must join the group? Because when you don't join this group, again, it depends on honesty, let's call this, of your students. And we also have some aspects of homework, how we set their homework. They have one part, it's defining words. You remember that I left them with the idea of vocabulary definition. And the second part can be, of course, practicing. You know that students have two visuals which are left without any analysis. So you can give them these pictures, for example, of climbing and hiking. And they can describe these types of exercise at home. Again, for students who are just like quite enthusiastic, you can ask them to compare, because we are talking again about level 6, 7, 8. Now it's 7, 8. They can compare these two types of exercise. And I always say them that we will discuss the questions about sport next class. And I say which questions I will ask them. I ask them like why sport is important. Okay, if it's a question, why is sport important? And they can describe one activity, they can compare two activities according to the plan. That could be their homework. Again, I divided this map into two parts. I just showed you the first part of this map because we have types of exercises, some like benefits, more benefits of exercising. But on the first class, I only used 2 points. So why sport is important for people, and the second one, types of exercise and what they develop, their results on people's body. So that's it. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm free to any questions here. If you have any questions, you can ask me any questions related.
So, Lesha, you said you decided in fractures your map for this class.
Yeah.
How much time? I want to ask. How much time? How many lessons maybe does it take for studying the map? The first question.
It depends. Firstly, it depends. If we talk about students of level 7, I mean level 7 or 8, and if we're talking about this map, exactly this map, I mean sports and health living, so it's 2 classes at least. I mean two classes. But to my mind, it's a kind of not only studying a map, it's a kind of like speaking involvement. It's a kind of like a linguistic curiosity. It's a kind of much stuff which we use just this part of the map as a trigger. But
yes, I understand. That is why.
Two classes. It could be again, it could be 4 classes. It doesn't matter. It matters only if your students feel this moment of understanding the map and not just like having a class where you speak about the whole map and they understand nothing.
I understand, but if they haven't studied this map, if they haven't read everything which is written there, they won't be able to explain, they won't be able to find
they actually don't need to explain. I'm sorry for interrupting you. They don't need to explain. They just need to understand how to speak. They need to understand the structure of this map. You see, here, I don't ask them to speak a lot. I'm just asking them to follow the structure of the map. I don't give them any like moments when they must speak only their opinion. So if you look at the tasks are very related to the structure of the map. They are not related to random talk. Even
no need to read this map, the whole lesson by fractures. No need.
No.
So you read only.
Fine. For example, I'm talking about my students. For example, I understand that my students are able to cover 2 blocks of this map. It's only, again, Maybe in your group, your students are ready to cover only one block. Maybe you need to stop here.
And the next lesson we cover another block.
If you feel that you need to spend 20-30 minutes, other 30 minutes or 20 minutes, you can do some grammar activities, anything. If you really understand that your students will just burn after this part, you can take one part, one aspect, but it would be more interesting for them than covering all the map, and just like they will have a lot of facts, information, but they don't know how to digest these facts. The moment that you digest this information together with students, if you see that they are ready to digest more, you give more. If you feel they are not ready yet, so you don't give that.
There's much information in every map, and that is why there's no any possibility to study the whole map during the only one lesson. That is why we do.
Yes. So you can say that we are talking about healthy living. We are talking about exercising. And today we speak about why exercising is important for people. So that's it. They don't need to they don't need why it's important. You can present this map if you want. You can present the whole map on the screen, but in a digital way it doesn't work. For them,
it doesn't work absolutely.
For them, it's like, okay, I agree with you, and whatever. So, and if you just fracture, if you divide this map into smaller parts, it means you simplify understanding of students what you really want. So, and your students, for example, leave the class with two ideas. My teacher wants from me to understand like why exercising is important and which types of exercising we have. So that's it. You don't need to have like a lot of questions. So to my mind, the best idea is to have like two aspects of the map. Even if we talk about some good students, what I mean by saying good, I mean like students who are ready to work and work and work. So that is an idea. Let's wrap it up. Actually, I'm talking about what? I'm talking like fracturing the map, like dividing into some blocks or aspects which your students could understand easily, or like more easily. And the second point is that how to use visuals and how to use interactions with students presenting this information. The more you move on the screen, what I mean you move, I mean like you make some moves on the screen, the more your students are involved. Sometimes it could be anything just to attract their attention. So you can just draw some pictures. When you say strong, you can draw like this. When you say weak, you can draw like this. So some fun which attracts their attention. And it's easy, and it's not like you need to invent something super cool. My idea, when I present something, this slide must move. But I'm not speaking about like inserting a video there. It's when you move on this slide. And if you move, students' eyes are moving too. So that's the only idea which I follow when I'm talking about interaction between a teacher and a student.
Okay.
Any more questions? No more questions. Okay.
Yeah. If there are no more questions, I would like to thank you, because this is a really cool idea. We know how to work with maps in offline surrounding, yeah, but online it's a very different moment. And I hope Alexey Mikhailovich was able today to structure it differently, to show how a different way of using the maps can be used.
Yeah, at least I try to share an idea to practice. It doesn't mean that it will work with your students, but I practice it with a few groups. I mean, even level 3. even level 3, especially young kids, they like when you can type on the screen. They totally are using the language from the map healthy living. They are totally resistant to ready-made material. I mean, if you open the ready-made slide, it's I can't say it's like zero efficiency, but it's about zero efficiency, because they don't understand. So what's this, like, a lot of information about. So that's work definitely with young kids. I practice with level 3, and level 3 also likes drawing on the screen. You can give them a chance to draw. They also like it. You can, if you feel they are getting too enthusiastic in drawing on your screen, so you can block drawing on your screen. That's not a problem. So because sometimes when you just even forgot about this drawing, they start drawing something on the screen, and you feel a little bit how to say, confused or embarrassed, and you can block that. I'm talking about just giving them a chance to move on your screen. So on your screen, it's not only you who moves. On your screen, information must move with you too. So that is my message. And that is different definitely from offline classes, because in offline classes, they touch information. They grab this worksheet. Yes, they can touch, they can use a finger. But in online way, they don't use any fingers except tapping. So, and the only one interaction which we have is your slide and their eyes. If your slide is still, like for a long time, their eyes and attention is still too. So that is an idea. Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. So when Alexey Mikhailовich told me about this idea, I liked it immediately, because it's so different from we've used to be doing. Yeah. So from what we understand how the map has to be presented. And I do hope that you will use some of these ways, like typing, sending, like chunking, or putting the parts of the map and sending the whole PowerPoint of your lesson to the class. It's also cool.
It's because of messengers, I think. It's because of messengers, because when I started working with Telegram, I understood myself that I'm not interested in reading long posts with a lot of vocabulary, which has no visuals, which has no triggers, which can grab your attention. And definitely, let's imagine that you listen to someone and someone gives you a very big picture. How much your attention span will be? Let's be honest. You will be like a student too. You will feel like bored very quickly. So that's like in human nature, even not like in, yeah, it's of course in our age or our like attitude to life, but it's our nature. That's it. So we must interact in this way. I feel so. I tested in a few levels again, like level 3, the 5th or 6th. Now it's hard to say. So the 6th level and definitely the 7th. I mean, not the same map. I mean, just different maps, but in quite similar way. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you. It was very good. Now we are waiting for the recording and the YouTube link, because like Marina Shabanova had her wedding. Yeah, so she couldn't be present. And 5 more people just wrote to me saying that they have.
After this presentation, I will upload it in YouTube and I will share a link in our Viber group.
Wonderful. In our group in the class.
Yeah. So everyone stay safe.
And stay strong.
Thank you. Goodbye,
and
everyone.
Stay safe. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.